Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. Today, I want to bring to you some fly music. We're going to be chopping it up with my man Jayswiftzdaproducer, the producer. How you doing, sir?
Peace, brother. Peace and love. I'm doing wonderful. I'm grateful that you allow me to have me on your platform. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I'm honored to have you here. You know, it's all about collaboration. And, you know, when you're into the community like we are, it helps to help each other. You know what I mean? Like, I met you through Rothstein. And
right. That's my guy.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to, that's how we got to do it. You know what I mean? With the circles. You know, you help me, I help you, you help him, and we all make it together.
Correct. That's all it's about, man. Networking, man. You know, unfortunately, when I was coming in the game, it wasn't like that. It was basically, one hand washing the other, both washing the face. And it was like, yo, you had to do a favor for a favor. And I didn't want to carry that same type of energy now because, I feel like if I want to cross some great people, I definitely want to show the love and show the appreciation, especially if they talented. Like, just like, I give you a prime example. Rusty, that's my guy, that's my brother. I had a situation, and I still do with Papoose. He had hit me up, asked me for some tracks, and I gave him some tracks. But I'm always, the type of brother that always want to look out for other, talented brothers. So I said, yo, I got some cats, that got beats. And he said, yo, send it to me. And on the strength of me, that he was able to use Rothstein beat because he asked me, he's like, yo, I ain't gonna mess with it if you don't vouch for it. And I'm like, nah, I vouch 100%. So that's how Rothstein got the placement.
Nice. So yeah, I want to go into that. Like, you've been in the game for a minute. So let's talk about your history and, how long and some of the people you work with.
Well, I started off as a DJ. I was a battle DJ. I had projects out probably when I was about 18, 19. I did a lot of projects with some local talented brothers. One of them is named Shabar. That's one of my great mentors, very knowledgeable brother. And my good childhood friend, it was Amar Pep, who is still, is my childhood friend. Shabar was actually the one that gave me the name Jayswiftz. Because I was so nice with the turntables that anybody in my area, or because I'm from East New York, Brooklyn, by the way, and anybody that was from Brownsville or any other areas, I was smashing them on the turntables. And he was like, yo, you Swift, man, you Swift. So that's how Jayswiftzd became, who I am today. And fast forward was, let me go back a little bit. Probably before that, Jay Ruler Damager and AZ, they lived directly around the corner from me, which is AZ lived on Williams Avenue and Jay Ruler Damager lived off of Sheffield, you know what I'm saying? So I got a rapport with those cats. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much because I know you probably ask me questions, but I don't want to backtrack. But yeah, I have a rapport with them brothers. They were actually from my way. Then so on from Brownsville was Boot Camp Click, and I have a rapport with a lot of people, personal rapport with them. So it's just not this music.
All right, so I want to touch on something you mentioned. We always talk about MCs battling, but what was the DJ battling scene like?
Oh, it was crazy. So I'll give you a quick story on that. For what I was doing at the time, I don't think anybody was seeing me on the turntables. Until I was DJing for my great friend Shabar. He brought me to a place in Brownsville that was called Heritage House. And, you know, we had a little studio set up in there. You know, I wasn't familiar with the terms of engineering and producing at the time. I was just a DJ. So he brought me up in there, and I was always talking shit because I was just so amped about myself. And he was like, yo, I got somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's nice. And at the time, I was introduced to a great late friend of mine, which he went back to the S's, my man Powerful. And Powerful was an MC, but he had equipment, and also he had a DJ. So I got there, you know, they kind of set me up. I got there, and he was like, yo, show them what you could do. So I showed him, I'm showing them what I could do or whatever, not knowing that Powerful DJing was actually Plastic Man. Okay. So, so I'm doing my thing, and then Plastic Man goes, you know, he don't say nothing. He goes, and I'm like, oh snap, like, yo, this cat is crazy. So from there, you know, me and Plastic Man developed a great relationship. He started showing me routines and stuff like that. And then from there, I heard about DJ Scratch and all that. So I was familiar with the Superman, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Scratch was a part of Superman, Clark Kent, Plastic Man, Richie Rich. There's a couple other cats that I'm missing, but that's how long I've been doing that for a while. And then fast forward, I started meeting the X-Men. Before the X-Men, what Executioner was X-Men. And how that got developed was I had a rapport with DJ Steve D. Steve D he won a new music seminar. He was crazy on the turntable. He was doing the beat juggling stuff at the time. And I got into a new music seminar, but I didn't make it to the finals. And that's when I met Steve D. Steve D, you know, wanted to develop a crew called the X-Men, because it was supposed to be like the nemesis of the Superman. But I had rapport with Clark Kent and all those cats, and you know, I would never go against the grain. But yeah, I was supposed to be a part of the X-Men, but I just never, you know, executed it because I just wanted to stay peaceful. I didn't want to take any one of the sides. But fast forward, when X-Men was developed, and you know, a lot of cats came in, which is Rock Raid and all that, Diamond J, Rob Swift, and then they started changing their names. So other cats started coming in, and it so happened that a great friend of mine, he's part of my family tree too, was Dr. Butcher. And Dr. Butcher was part of the X-Men, the Executioners at the time. And I met Dr. Butcher, you know, do Kool G Rap. And I don't want to go again. This is fast because there's stuff behind that. How, you know, because that's
no, go
how
ahead. We here for the history. We're here for the culture. We're here for the art.
Okay, so when I went to the studio, I knew G Rap from one of my great friends from out in, you know, 4 Grain Projects. I don't want to say his name right now because he's going through some legal stuff, but you know, he's actually like a family member to me as well. So he connected me with G Rap, and me and G Rap had developed a great rapport. You know, I used to go to G Rap crib and all that. So I used to bring talent to G Rap. You know, I was a great fan of Kool G Rap. I had these other 2 young brothers, which my little man Un and Bar Shaw, and actually those 2, what Bar Shaw actually featured on AZ first album on a song called We Can't Win. So Bar Shaw and Un, who I brought to Kool G Rap. So G Rap had got into a big, you know, some situation where Eric B and them. So, you know, that's his story to tell. So nothing transpired out of that. So we lost contact for a while. So fast forward, we actually linked up, and he was working on the Roots of Evil album. By that time, I had knew Papoose. I knew Jinx. I had Jinx running with me, and was another young hitter, which is named Ike for Diamond. I don't think he's no longer rapping. And I met Pap do DR. So what I used to do was, Jinx was 13 years old at the time, and he was so crazy with spitting some lyrics that I used to take him around and battle people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we met Ike for Diamond. I knew DR Period. DR Period was a great mentor too as well. You know, he was a dope producer. So like I said, man, so much history, man. So when I went to DR crib, that's how I was introduced to Papoose. Papoose was crazy, but I already knew Smoother Hustler, Trigger the Game. I already knew them. But I had a great rapport with Papoose at the time. And I was working on Jinx single, which is called Above the Limits, and I asked Pat to be on it, and he got on it. So when I actually got with G Rap, and he was working on Roots of Evil, I brought Papoose and Jinx there, And that's how the history started. Once Pap got on G-Rap album and Jinx, that's how, his name started buzzing.
Nice.
But it was really because of Jinx single, because I let G-Rap hear the single, and he's like, who these cats? I'm like, yo, these my man, you know what I'm saying, good dudes. So he's like, yo, these niggas is nice, you know what I'm saying? So when he worked on Roots of Evil, I brought them through, and that's how they was able to get on that album. Ike If a Dime was supposed to got on it too, but I just think he didn't come that day to the studio, so that's why he wasn't on it. But Pap and Jinx came and they did their thing, and I'm proud of what they done. So
all the names that you just listed, they're all real MCs, real DJs. Like it's no watered downness to that,
nah.
right? So as a producer, how do you feel about this current generation and their relationship to hip hop?
The new generation is cool. I just think that if the new generation had it pretty much got everything handed to them. It wasn't like, see, when I was coming up, as a producer, when I actually developed into production, we used to have to dig, man. You know what I'm saying? And just that alone is just a bunch of history. You know what I'm saying? With that, me getting into production, that's just a whole nother story, because then I could talk about things that I had done, you know what I'm saying, on an underground level, whereas a lot of things hasn't hit the surface. And that's include even demos with Papoose. That's even including demos with AZ. You see what I'm saying? So, the new generation, I just think that they got it too easy, where before, coming up, I used to have to save up money to buy MP 2000 or MP or whatever, So now it's like everything is digital. It's pretty much easy for them. And as far as lyrical, I don't think they lyrical as it was me growing up, because people used to have to battle, like now it's like they just being embraced by the music, and it's like, okay, we accepting it. It's not wrong with it. I mean, generation changes, but it's just easier now.
Do you think that, especially within hip hop, so, like in R&B, you'll have a current R&B artist go back and, give homage to like the Temptations or, Motown for showing them the way. Do you think that's something we are lacking with hip hop? Like, you don't really have hip hop artists going back and paying homage. Like, to me, one of the greatest things that came out of this year was the battle with Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One, because it took it back. You know what I mean? It got to show this current generation their history and where they got it from. And I don't necessarily see that, homage coming from this current generation towards the people who came before.
Yeah, because you gotta remember too, a lot of the newer generation don't know about the older generation. You see what I'm saying? They just hear about a lot of things by word of mouth. Like, I give you a prime example of my son. My son is Jayswiftz. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a great young producer, up and coming. But the thing about him is that he had his father, which is me, and I had him around, at the time, at that generation, I had him around. So he was familiar with the Busters. He was familiar with the Flays. He was familiar with a lot of cats that, pay homage to it is today. So he was just blessed to actually was able to learn about that culture back then and apply it now. And I think that's why he's so great as a young producer, and he's so soulful, because that he has somebody that was able to teach him. Whereas a lot of these younger cats, they don't know anything. They learn about word of mouth, like, yo, you heard this joint? Then they have to go do their research. And lyrically, like I said, it's just different. Like I said, back then used to have skills. It's not about skills anymore. It's all about sound. It's all about what sounds good, because that wouldn't be able to fly straight. That mumble rap and all that other stuff that he do now, it wouldn't be acceptable back then, because if you ain't had skills, like, dudes wasn't even trying to hear you. It was about lyrical content. It was about skills. Now it's just about song and how it's about dancing and all that. So it was more about back then. Lyrical bass, so it was like, okay, he's nice on a mic, but the beat is trash. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like the opposite. The beat is dope, but the lyrics is trash. You see what I'm saying? So it's changed. So, but I'm not knocking it. It's just a new generation. One of my great friends, again, Shabar, he had said this quote to me that always stuck with me. And because when trap first came, I wasn't a fan of it. But he said, "Yo, G, check this out." He said, "Yo, if you don't change in time, you will die in time." And that always stuck with me. And I'm like, "Yo, you know what? That's deep. You know, that's a deep, quote." So I always apply that to myself now. So now I do trap, I do whatever, because I know that the generation changes and I have to keep myself above a float boat. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, then I'm gonna be subjected to somebody where they used to say, "Oh, he used to be a producer," or "That's not working anymore." You know, that boom bap stuff. And I love boom bap. That's where I'm from. But
Right.
you gotta change, man. You gotta keep above water, because if you don't, you're gonna get drowned, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
Do you think that that's kind of our fault as the generation that should protect that and protect the reverence of what it was like? Because growing up in our generation of hip hop, it was a lot. It's struggle now, but the struggle was, like you were saying, it's even more real. Like everything's digital now. Like you had
Mm-hmm.
to, back in the day, you had to actually go through record bins and
Mm-hmm.
know your music and go through them
Mm-hmm.
crates, where now everything's digital. You could just download a playlist and it's done for you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
think maybe it's our fault that we didn't hold our history as a higher standard?
I won't necessarily say it's our fault. It's just what happened is that this, from my perspective, is that our generation, we just got relaxed. You know what I'm saying? We got too relaxed. We started to not care about the lyrical content anymore. I think it was more of, it was more about sales. It was all about, I'm gonna do a mix, what it's gonna allow me to sell units. You see what I'm saying? Like a Drake, no disrespect, a Drake wouldn't be accepted say back then, because he's not. A lot of people say he's lyrical, and that might be, but back then, like, Cass used to battle, man. I used to be in them jam parks where Cass used to battle on a mic, and if you would get booed. Like I was there when the DJs was bringing crates of records. Like I was one of those young cats that was help carrying the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So when a person that was battling, they take that serious. Like now it's like, oh, they take shots at each other, but it's never been, something that was taken that serious. Whereas, okay, if I win, then that means you can no longer rap. See what I'm saying? If I lose, then you have an opportunity to tell your opponent, like, yo, if I win, then this is not gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? No more. You got to stop rapping. Whereas now it's like they just embrace anything, and that's why I think the generation just changes at the changes, and it's gonna be more stuff that's not gonna be accepted in hip hop, but we embracing it because we looking at it like, yo, a lot of these cats don't know no Big Daddy Kane. A lot of these cats don't know no
Right.
Coogee Rap. A lot of these cats don't know, Run DMC or LL. They just know, see faces, and then somebody, or they older parents might say, "Oh, that's LL Cool J. That's somebody, I listened to when I came up." But if you ask some of the generations now about that, you know what they say? "Oh, that's trash, man. Nobody listen to that."
Mm-hmm.
But let them talk about Little Uzi Vert or something, and that's what they think that's happening now.
So, do you think I was having a conversation earlier about how other music has their standards, right? Like if you're a jazz musician, you got to know how to play Take the A Train. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you're a country artist, you got to know them old Dolly Parton and Charlie Pride hits. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're a rock, you got to be able to go back and hit them Rolling Stone songs, or if we don't necessarily have that. And it's kind of how hip hop was set up, though, because you
Right.
always, well, at least our generation of hip hop, originality was everything. So for hip hop, you didn't really want to go back and do somebody else's song like a remake or a standard, because you biting. But now I think that's something like it would impress me if a young cat could go back and rap Big Daddy Kane's Raw and remix it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just to, because you'll have that exercise of the lyrical content, of the flow, of the spitting that I don't think that we have anymore.
No, we definitely don't. We definitely don't have that anymore. This is why I give you a great analysis on that. AZ and Nas.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrically, AZ is crazy. He always been crazy. Even before anybody knew who he was, he always been crazy. The thing is with AZ is that AZ still rapping, or his conversation is still like if he just got a deal. Now you look at Nas. Nas is more doing what today is. So people would gravitate more towards a Nas before they would gravitate to an AZ. You see what I'm saying? And lyrically, AZ is killing it, but song-wise, Nas is doing what is today, where AZ might still be doing what was yesterday. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if AZ would do what's today, I think AZ would be put in a better situation. I'm not saying that he's not in a bad situation now. I just think that as far as production-wise, I think that if he would see what today is and apply that now, I think that he would be in a great situation that he might be in yesterday. You see what I'm saying? Because Nas is doing what today is, even though that might not be his lane, but he like, you know what? And that's the same thing I was saying. Like, if you don't change in time, you're going to die in time. You see, it's the same thing. You have to apply yourself what it is today. It's not about what you used to do back in the 80s or the 90s. You got to apply what's today in order for you to be relevant. Now, if you don't do that, what's going to happen is that your sales will start decreasing. People will not even think about you because they look at you like irrelevant. Like, I don't know who that is. Like, what song did he do? And I had conversations where people ask me, what song did he done? And I had conversations where other people might say, what song this person did? And I'm like, you don't know this person? And they'll be like, nah, I never heard of him. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if a young generation would do their homework and figure and know who is who back then I think they will understand music theory more instead of just applying themselves on what they think that it is today.
And it's interesting you said it like that, because I remember growing up when hip hop was new and you wouldn't consider music theory in the same sentence as hip hop. At least a lot of traditional musicians wouldn't. But now things have changed with that, and it's definitely hip hop theory. And I think that needs to be studied too. Right. Just the art of, it's a difference between just playing the sample and re-engineering the sample to your own creation. You know, some of the younger cats nowadays, they don't take it apart like some of the other old school producers do. They just play it straightforward. Right.
Right, exactly.
And, and part of the thing was back in the day, we was trying to get around to clearing the samples. So the more ingenious you were to hide the sample, but still use the sample, I think that brought out a lot more creativity just on the theory side. It's a whole different theory of just how to do a sample. It's a theory of a break and a scratch that I think we're losing,
It's crazy you say that, because just sitting here thinking about, the time zone where I remember, we used to just go digging. And by the way, digging consists of knowing who you digging for. That's what I'm saying. Like, the generation don't know about that. But I can remember where we could just take the MPC President and just loop the drums and add another sample to it, and then we got a song. Where, as the time zones changes, then we would take that piece of President and take the kick and the snare hi-hat, and we could structure that to something different. You would know it's a piece of President, but you would know that it was chopped up. So when you're saying high things, that's what we used to do. We used to try to figure out ways how to get around samples. And that's when chopping came involved. We would take the normal James Brown joint and just try to reconstruct it to where it won't be noticeable. And as the time zone started changing, the chops started changing, and then whereas now we would start adding keyboards on top of the sample. So where we definitely was trying to even hide even more. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a big difference from then to now. Whereas, again, a lot of these cats, they got hold at the time what they call Fruity Loops. The music theory was easy for them because they wouldn't know how to, play. They would just draw their notes in, and whatever sounds good, they would just manipulate it, and that's how trap was pretty much born in a sense. Nobody knew how to play music. They would just know how to just make it sound good. So they would just draw their stuff, where a real producer would be like, yo, that's nothing, man. Like, yo, y'all got it easy. Including myself, because I was one of those type of cats. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I ain't fucking with that. Excuse my language. I was like, I ain't messing with that, because that's not hip hop. You could just sit there and just draw something in, and you saying that's hip hop. Nah. I mean, I still got all my crates of records. I still got all my records. And people the generation to be like, yo, why you got all them albums? And I'm like, some of these albums is worth more than your equipment that you have. Some of these albums I paid $200. Some I paid $500, and I still have the price tags on them. So I would never get rid of that. I had people ask me, yo, let me go through your albums, man, just to try to get some samples. I'm like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Those are my collectors. I would never get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? That would be for my children and my children's children, and forward, because now vinyl is being brought back, and now it's like it's worth even more. So I would never get rid of, you know, the Souls of the Bibles by Cannibal Alley. That album right there, I think I paid $75. But the only reason why I bought that because Q-Tip and used it. So you will always be like, oh, I want to get the joints that, you know, Q-Tip and Muse or Large Professor or, you know, or Primo, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is how I was developing friendship with other producers, just by digging. I would just run into them. I ran into P-Rock. I ran into Easy Mo B. They would tell me, yo, you got this now, you know, such and such. Let me get that. So that's how I was able to become, you know, great at what I do, because I have friends that was always, you know, give me jewels. I have, you know, great friends, Trackmasters, Tone and Poke, shout out to them. So I had heavy hitters, man, I was surrounded by, and I always took little jewels from them, you know, that just share with me and been business minded. And that's what made me create, you know, a staff, a team, you know, my family to this day that we could get into, you know, also.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So let's get back into. I like that. So that's the kind of conversation that I like having, because I'm a hip hop historian, especially of the boom bap era, and I know what it's like. Like, I grew up with a lot of DJs in this area, and you know, being that you guys are in New York and you were like kind of in the center of it, you guys had kind of had an upper hand, because crate digging in Virginia was trifling. Because
yo,
you
but
didn't
let me
have.
tell you something. I anybody that you know down here that was nice, I smashed them already. I came down. I mean, I might not know them, but I'll give you a quick story right quick before you know, I don't want to take you off your thought.
No, go ahead.
So when I came down here, this is when I was a DJ. Shout out to my man Plex. He hate when I tell his story, but I'm gonna tell it. So I got one of my mutual friends, you know, he know I was, you know, into the tricks and all that. He's like, yo, you can't beat my man. So I'm like, what? Yo, who your man? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yo, my man Plex. So I'm like, oh, word? I said, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So he called Plex up, and I go to Plex crib. You know, he got to set a turntable, because back then a lot of people couldn't afford 1200. So I'm like, yo, he got 1200. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, yo, you spin? I'm like, yeah, I spin. He's like, yo, you want to battle? I said, you want to battle? He said, yeah, let's battle for $20. He said, but you got to go first. I said, all right, cool. So I got my K-Soto joint, my Spellbound, and I went off. And after I did my routine, he was like, yo, I don't want to battle, man. You know what I'm saying? This the spin. So that was a great story, and he hate that I talk about that, because him and I is great friends to this very day because of that one situation. You know, and he probably was one of the top elites down here. You know, everybody's talking about Plex and all that, but I smashed him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm being cocky. I just, like, I knew what I was able to do. I was around a lot of cats. You know, Plas embarrassed me. You know, I thought I was the shit. Plastic Man embarrassed me. And but the crazy thing is, the dude I beat, Plastic Man, I beat him, which is my man Craze. Shout out to my man Craze out in Brownsville. Craze was another DJ that was crazy. He beat my man Plastic Man, and I beat him in my house. He came to my house, and, you know, I let him do his thing. He tried to do all that crazy stuff. And he'll tell you to this day, you know, like, yo, man, Swift beat me. Swift got me. Another producer, another DJ who's now actually a producer as well. My man Alex, what they called, you know, my man Trips. You know, he run with Fame. That's my guy too. Mahava Project. He's from Brownsville. So all these cats, you know, good brothers to this day, they knew I was able to do. You know what I'm saying? And I knew what they would do. Another nemesis, my man Tim. You know what I'm saying? DJ Tech. He from East New York. Every time I see him, we would battle, and I would smoke him. And it's just crazy, because when I went to Vegas, I just seen him. We talked about that. He's like, yo, man, nah, man, you got me plenty of times. But we great brothers to this day, man. So that's just part of the history, man. When it came to, I was just a believer, and I just knew that if you beat me, I'm coming back, and I'm gonna tear you up the next time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep trying until I get you.
I notice when you talk, especially when you talk about DJing, I see how you light up about that. So let me ask you, if you can do anything, regardless of money of all that, would you rather DJ or would you rather produce?
Hands down, I would say production. But DJ is my life. You know what I'm saying? I haven't touched a pair of turntables in a while. The only time I do touch a turntable is if I'm sampling something. DJ, the reason why, you see me light up because it's so much history. If it wasn't for DJ, it wouldn't be who I am today. And it's just so much history, man. Like so many great battles, so many great stories. And not just so much of the stories, it's just that a lot of these brothers who I did have, battle competition with, we brothers to this day. Like we older now, we talk about that. And they give me my props, and if they beat me, I would say, yo, you get your dang on me. And that's the beauty of it, is that, we don't take it personal. Mm-hmm. Like we just make it to where it's, okay, you got me today, but I'm gonna go home and practice, and I'm gonna come back and get you tomorrow. So that's why you see me light up so much, because DJing is, it's in my blood, and that is what, I live by. It was because of that who made me become a greater, or either add the producer onto my name. It's because of DJing. I would never forget about that, and that's my first love right there.
All right, so a true DJ can control a party with just a flick of his wrist, right? You can change the whole dynamic of a party. How does that skill translate into production when you're creating music?
Well, it was for me because owning so many vinyls, excuse me, and it was just the fact that I had a name for myself, and I was always a fast learner. When I got into DJing, God bless the soul of my mom's, she invested into turntables with me. And then I wanted to get into producer. Shout out to my step pops, Omar. He gave my mother the money to, when I got into production, sampling wasn't as big as it was then. We used to have a little keyboard, which is called SK1. We used to have to speed the record up so fast to where we were able to loop. And when I got into that, my step pops was the first one that bought me, a Roland 707. Even though it didn't sample, I just thought making, drum patterns was dope at that time. Mm-hmm. But they believed in me. They believe in me to keep me away from anything, to keep me off the streets and all that. I had great parents that was able to capitalize and see my vision. And that's why, production still to this day is, I would say, if not my first, my second love. That's definitely something that I actually appreciate. And like I said, that opened up the doors for a lot of opportunities for me, because a lot of cats believed in me. Like I didn't have the motivation and have the belief system that I have in myself, where other people be like, yo, you crazy on it. Like, yo, beast is crazy. And that's, open up doors to where people will just talk about me word of mouth. Like, yo, you this cat named Jayswiftz, he's dope, man. You need to check him out. And before you know what, people would just, I don't know how back then people would just get my number. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, you get my number. Yo, man, I need some beat, blah, blah, blah. And that opened up a lot of avenues and great relationships with a lot of top dogs, from people from, to name a few, my man Lenny Nicholson from Columbia Records, my man Mark Jordan, Antoine Marchand, which is Foxy's older brother, my man Jim Nice. There's a lot of brothers, man, that embrace me. A lot of brothers and sisters that embrace me, that believe in me. Trackmasters, you know what I'm saying? So I've been around for a while. Mm-hmm. And, it just was a beautiful turnover in my life, whereas, I didn't have to convert to violence. My violence was just either DJ or producing.
Yeah, yeah. And it saved a lot of brothers too, because that was, and I think that, I don't know if they're still doing it, but I remember at one time, didn't Jam Master Jay have a DJ school?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that. But I'm pretty sure he probably did it.
I would like to see more of that in the community, I think that maybe we could go back and claim our music and our heritage if we had a DJ school, if we had a rap school, a hip hop school, so you can learn the history and make yourself better in the same time. I would love to see that happen.
Right. I'm definitely down with that. like again, you know, it's a different generation. So the Technic 1200s is so expensive now. Like you probably won't see a lot of cats owning them. From when I bought them, I think there was like 300 for one. Now they're like 1,500 for one. You know, I was just talking to my man Dr. Butcher about that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my great brothers too. We were just talking about how expensive the turntables are, man. So it's like you're not going to see a person with Technic 1200s unless it's the old ones that we used to have back in the days, because they just so expensive now. Like they got outrageous with the prices on them.
And it's easier for you to just get a laptop and Pro Tools.
Exactly. So it's different dynamics. Things change. Definitely things change.
All right. So we talked about the past. Let's talk about the present and the future. What are you working on now?
Okay, so right now, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just plug this in right quick. I'm sorry about this.
No, you're fine.
Okay, well, right now, I'm working with I have a team of producers. We all, you know, I want to say it's my team. It's ours. I'm sorry. It's ours. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a whole master team together, a family. Everybody's families. Nobody's bigger than the other. I'm not no leader. I'm just a person that just mastermind the whole thing and try to execute it. But within our family, we have some artists, which is, you know, my sister Keith Turner, my good brother Dre, you know what I'm saying, Andre Music, and then my man Ray Luger. And what we doing is, like I said, we have a team of producers, which such as myself, my son J.R. Swift, my man DJ Static, my man Funkster, my man DJ Stress. We just made him officially yesterday. My man Rothstein Beats, he made him official yesterday. Who else I'm missing? I'm missing somebody else. I'm sorry, my man Dr. Butcher. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, right? That's my brother too. So, and I got something else that I'm announced. I don't want to put it out there yet, but we have somebody else that we actually considering to bring in amongst the team. So that's what I'm working on right now. Just try to get everybody some placement. You know what I'm saying? Besides just working in-house. And I figured out the reason why I wanted to do that in-house thing is because I'm from the old school. It's like, you know, when you ask people for beats, man, you get the runaround. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is build my own team, and we'll do our own, and we ain't got to go look for people on the outside, because everybody in the camp got different styles. So we can complete an album with this in the team within itself. You figure beats for me, Rothstein, Stress. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm sorry, my man Stress. I'm sorry, not to mention him. Stress. You know, Funk, Butcher, and Static. If we got beats for them, that's all we need. We don't need nothing else. Everybody got different styles. So, and my son, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I'm working on. So right now, Key Turner album, Ray Luger, and my man Dre. It's what I'm working on right now. What we working on right now. I'm sorry.
And I think you gave me the song Yolandas. Tell me about that.
All right. So Yolandas, I'll tell you the story about Yolandas. So Key had hit me. She was going through something with one of a great friend of hers. She kind of like betrayed Key in a way, and Key was just so, you know, adamant about, you know, how disrespectful this young lady was towards her, you know, to where it could have turned ugly. So I actually had that beat for a while, you know what I'm saying? And what happened was she had called me, you know, sis had called me to vent, and, you know, I'm trying to give everybody the best advice I could get her. So I said, yo, man, you know what, man? Let it for that. Yo, take the frustration out on the beat. I said, yo, matter of fact, I got something I'm going to send you. And I sent to that beat, the Yolandas beat. And next thing you know, that's how Yolandas became, you know, who it is today. So Yolandas actually she told me who Yolanda was. Yolanda is actually the girl that had something to do with the Spanish sister that passed away. Her friend, Yolanda Reservoir, or something like that. She had got her friend killed.
Yeah, in Virginia Beach.
Nah. This is actually I can't think of this. I can't think of her name right now, but it was actually this is gonna kill. Key is gonna kill me for this. She is actually okay. Jennifer Lopez played her in the documentary.
Selena.
Selena,
Yeah.
exactly. So Selena, her best friend was Yolanda Reservoir, whatever her name was.
The lady that killed her. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, her best friend. So
yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Key, but but that's how Yolanda was actually developed. So her friend was kind of like that, like, you know, real, like they was real tight, real childhood friends, and she kind of did some things to Key. So Key actually named it after Yolanda because she was like, yo, you know what, she's doing me the same way. And when I gave her the beat and I heard that, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So and that's actually a real live event that happened in that song. So that's how Yolandas came about.
Well, let's not let anybody wait. I want to hear it. Now I got to rehear it. Now that I know the story, I got to re-listen to it. So ladies and gentlemen,
check it out, man.
Here's Yolandas.
Pain is the mother of creativity. And without pain, you cannot create.
Sorry, I gotta do this, but how you treat me the rudest. I guess when you like Jesus, you gon' always have a Judas. Forgiveness was a bet, and I still rock with you regardless. Oblivious to your secret jealousy and heart of darkness. The type of shit you said to me, I should make you a carcass. Since you acting like an animal, mud dog and lawless. You should be ran over 10 times, but instead I'd rather pray. I let Jesus take the wheel and move the whip out of the way. Cause when your soul's astray, only God can bring you back. It's not my fault, you never healed and your mental suffers lack. Going black when somebody gets a little bit of shine. Your eyes too weak to handle it, so you stay going blind. Got that noble nod, yeah, I'm on that playlist. And you act like I should apologize for my greatness. No, it's not my fault you let that ink run dry. I thought you was about this life, but it was all just a lie. Wishing death after congrats, man, them polars is by. You added years to my life, trying to curse me to die. God brought me too far, so your weapons will never prosper. You played the role well, though, I should hand you an Oscar. The whole time your heart towards me was pure trash. I'm glad I disposed your ass, glad I disposed your ass. I'm not perfect. Everybody has their crazy ways, but some things in life you should never ever fix your mouth to say. You just another crab up in the Chesapeake Bay, and I got a pot of boiling water for that ass today. I saw that knife that you pulled when I pulled your card. I should have cut you off then, but I love so hard. Yo, niggas is unstable. You must understand that high winds can cause damage from a real big fan. I stay praying God reveals my enemies, and then I seen her. They gotta go. You ain't gonna end up like Selena.
Oh God, it's a promise. My eyes open, I see the Yolandas. See the signs before you start making comments. Cause the closest ones to you can end up Yolandas. Oh God, it's a promise. My eyes open, I see the Yolandas. See the signs before you start making comments. Cause the closest ones to you can end up Yolandas.
So yo, I'm all right. So it's a lot. It's a lot. The beat, I can hear I can tell you have a boom bap type history because you get that. Sure. You get that the way that beat slap. You definitely get that. And so it was dope, but now it's really dope. Now I know what the story is behind it.
Yeah. She called me. She was kind of devastated. I'm saying, because this is somebody that was real close to her, and she treated her like a sister. You know, anytime Key would come to Virginia, you know, that's pretty much where she would stay at. And, you know, I'm not the type of person that could conduct violence. So I was trying to calm her down. I'm like, yo, man, you know what, man? Yo, listen, man, put that in the song. You know what I'm saying? Yo, get your frustration out of the song. And I just had a beat, you know what I'm saying? That I had that beat for a while, you know, because I was the type of person that hold beats back, you know what I'm saying? Because I be trying to save stuff. But because I wanted her to kind of get her anger out, and she came up with Yolandas. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So, you know, I mixed it and everything. You know, I got a whole setup, and she sent it to me, the vocals. I put it in Pro Tools, and I did my thing. I wanted that to be kind of big, you know, and that's how it was. The same thing, but, you know, one of her other songs was Yolanda. All those is like, you know, I would share this. If when you do get to hear her album is very touchy because it's really who she is. It's like she don't fabricate anything. Like what you hear is either it happened or it actually either happened to her or something that somebody that's close to her might have had a situation, and she probably kind of shared their story in her own, same perspective. But Yolandas is definitely her all day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That was a true event.
Yeah, that was dope. All right, so I got to ask you, how did you end up in Virginia?
Oh, man. Oh, so Virginia. I came down here back in 80, maybe 88, 89. I have an aunt, one of my great aunts. Her husband was stationed in Florida, Pensacola first, and then they got, stationed here. Being in New York, I just wanted a different atmosphere. At the time, I had Jayswiftz. So I didn't want to raise my son in that type of environment that I came up under. So when I came down here, I love the atmosphere. And I came down here, went back, then I came back, and I went back, and then I stayed. So that's how I ended up in Virginia. When I came to Virginia, I already had some great people that was connecting me with brothers that already was in the music, such as Knots, a couple of other cats that I already, ran across, or somebody either plugged me in with them that already knew them, you know what I'm saying? So when I came down, I had met my man DJ Stress, and me and him been brothers ever since. And he was telling me about this cat named Knots. But the crazy thing is, D.V. Ellis Christ was telling me, like, yo, I need you to hook up with my people Teamsters. And I'm saying, I'm like, yo, who's that? He's like, yo, that's my man Darryl and, my man Knots. This is before Knots blew up with Buster. And, and we used to go to Pete, Third Eye Studio, we used to go over there and he used to bang out. And I was like, yo, this dude's dope, man. For me coming from New York, I was like, this nigga's a country band, but like these cats don't be doing this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But when I came down here, I was like, yo, I definitely opened my horizon on a lot of things, man. So when I came down here, hanging out with them cats for a while, then I met my brother, Ray Luger. Ray Luger was down with this camp called he was down with this camp called High Roller Records. And I used to go over there because one of the owners of High Roller Records was kind of like family, God bless his soul. You know what I'm saying? My man Chill, he was kind of like family. And he told me about his studio, took me over there, and he had artists, which is Ray Luger. This is how I met Dre there, because Dre used to work with Ray. And the history is there, you know what I'm saying? And anybody who I come across with, they want to be a good brother to me, a good friend. And, and that's how we are to this day. And that was back in the 80s, man, you know what I'm saying? So imagine what it is now. So me and Ray have built a great rapport, great relationship, you know what I'm saying? I met his mom, God bless her soul, Jackie. She's a beautiful human being. And great brother, man, very talented, you know what I'm saying? And his mother was actually one of the sisters that have the world's biggest black collector in B-Mall, you know what I'm saying? She had write-ups and all that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the history. So Dre, my man Dre, because we used to call him Dre Sean, which is now he changed his name to Andre Music, but we used to call him Dre Sean. He was dope back then. And so we did develop a great relationship, and that's who we are to this very day. You know what I'm saying? Those are my brothers. And I could tell you the story how I met Key briefly. So Key Turner, what happened was I seen the very attractive sister, and I heard the music. I was like, yo, she's dope. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to her. I said, yo, I'm working on this project. I would definitely would like to get a verse from you. How much you charge me? And she's like, I told who my cousin was and all that. And she's like, yo, that's your family. Like, I ain't gonna charge you anything. So my son, Jayswiftz, had actually gave me the track, which is what I sent you, was Shoot for the Stars. Mm-hmm. That track originally was for Ray Luger. But because I'm a very strategical person, that I already knew that wouldn't fit what Ray was doing at the time. When I dropped this project, American Soil, it wouldn't fit that project. So I sent it to Key, and I asked Key to do a verse. And when she did the verse and sent it back, I was like, nah. So I called my son because I wanted to get his approval. I'm like, yo, son, I don't think we should get a track to Ray. I think we should just give it to her. And he's like, yeah, she killed that, Pop. She killed that. So I called Key up. I said, listen, I want you to keep that track, but I want you to do a song. So she did the song, and that's how Shoot for the Stars came about. When she did it, you know, immediately I started broadcasting her to my people up in New York. They's like, yo, who had, yo, blah, blah, blah. And they's like, yo, you should work with her. You should work with her. So I pitched it to Key. I said, yo, who you working with? She was like, yo, I ain't working with nobody, blah, 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 this, down the third, yo. You know, I said, yo, let's work together. I said, let's do an album and let me see what I could do with it. And here we are today. That's my sister. That's the queen. You know what I'm saying? So, and once I was able to get that, I reached out to Butcher. I reached out to my man, Dr. Butcher, first. I said, yo, look, I got this sister. She's dope. Blah, blah, blah. I sent him the song. He's like, yo, she's crazy. Yo, whatever I could do, Swift, let me know. Because I felt like I wanted to do it right. I didn't want to try to do it on my own. Mm-hmm. So, I started reaching out to people who I trust. You know, Butcher was actually one of them. And same thing with DJ Static, and the same thing with Funkster. I could tell stories of how I met those brothers, and it was the same thing. Like, we had an ill chemistry. So I met Static, and I was telling him, what I was doing, because most of the time I meet brothers because I'm very conscious. I'm in a conscious community as well. So, we had conversation, and that became my brother. So, and one thing about Static is that he's very open. He's like me. You know what I'm saying? We hear dope producers, we get like props. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. Like, yo, you dope. I'm gonna give you a prop. Mm-hmm. So once we heard Funkster, which is, he was calling himself at the time Crummy Beats. I was like, y'all want to meet this dude, but everybody else who I knew him, but we never met. And I've been in Virginia for a long time. Mm-hmm. But my man Stress was the one. I said, yo, who Crummy Beats? He's like, oh, that's my man Funkster, man. Like, I'm like, yo, that dude crazy. Like, I want to meet him. And it's so funny that Static had a show down here, because Static DJ for a couple of cats, Immortal Tech and all them. And he had a show down here, and so happened that I didn't know that those two was already communicating. So I went to go to the show, and he was already at Funk Crib. So when he went to Funk Crib, he's like, yo, this dude got some stuff. So ever since then, I finally got down to talk to Funk, and we always talking on the phone. And he was like, yo, we need to come together. Because I was telling him at the time I was just working on Ray Project, and I was working on Key Joint. And he's like, yo, we need to come together. We need to build a force, because everybody collab. You had song councils and all those type of cats. And I knew what I was able to bring to the table for my guys. So I'm like, you know what, man? Let's do it. So I'm giving you the history of how we developed who we are today. Mm-hmm. So at the time, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of forgot about Butcher. He gonna kill me for saying this, but I kind of forgot about him. So I basically would talk about me, Static, and Funk. You know what I'm saying? And also my son. So, and Key was already a part of the team. That's how it started. So we used to have conversations on the phone, and I was just so adamant about those brothers, because I was talking to them on a daily basis. And I was like, damn, you know what, man? Hold on. It was Ray Luger who actually told me, yo, son, you can't forget your man Butcher. And I said, yo, I'm bugging. Like, nah, I can't forget my brother Butcher. So that's when the whole Zoom joint came about. So we got Butcher on it. We brought Butcher in. And then, again, I had rapport with Rothstein. I had rapport with Stress. And I had rapport with Stress and Rothstein. So, again, I asked everybody how they felt about it. So we had a Zoom joint, and those was the last two members that I brought in as a team. And I let them know what we was able to do and what we could do. And that's who we are today. I got one person that's actually, I reached out to other couple of cats too. I didn't get any feedback, you know what I'm saying? And it's no love lost. And like I tell everybody, we're not tied to anything. Like, I just want to be a brother or mentor, anything I could do. And everybody else that's amongst the team had the same type of attitude. Like, yo, now let's do it. We're brothers, man. We brothers and sisters. Let's come together. So yesterday I brought, Stress in, and I brought Rothstein in, and here we are today. But somebody just actually hit me up today, and they want to be a part of it. So I have to, bring them in, go through the chain of command, and everybody know, what I'm saying? So everybody pretty much in the team is heavy hitters, you know what I'm saying? And we just a big family, man, just trying to do it, you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to the projects and the music that's going to come out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Funk Gate on Key Project right now. I got my son JR, me, Static, Funk, Rothstein. The only one that ain't produced anything yet is Butcher and Stress, but we still working on Ray Project. The project that I'm putting out, I did that whole project by myself only because I started that project before I started putting this team together.
Mm-hmm.
But I did tell everybody else, like, yo, he's looking for joints, you know what I'm saying? There's work. And then my man Dre, right now, Dre produces too. And then Static giving him 2 joints. I just gave him a joint. So he's an up and coming R&B dope. And I'll send you his joint just so you can check it out. He's dope. He's out here in VA too, you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely dope. We about to actually shoot his video to one of his songs, you know what I'm saying? And then we got a lot of things in the works, man. I'm just trying to get it together right. You know, everybody can get their percentage, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can get their part and just make it work, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all about networking, man. And one thing I did notice about being in Virginia is that I won't say everybody, but a lot of cats down here don't support each other. And that's the thing I'm not with. I like to support my brothers and sisters, man. Like if you dope, I'm like, yo, I'm support you. And that's how I was able to bring everybody together collectively. Like, yo, I support you, man. You support me. You know, I did a lot of things for people. I don't want to, you know, tip my hat off to the things I've done because I did it for for the strength and for the love that I have for that person. I gave people drums. I gave people sounds. That's the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want anything back from them. I just want to see people shine. And I tell them first, I'd be like, I want y'all to shine before me. My happiness and my enjoyment would be to see that I was able to make a difference in somebody else's life.
Yes.
And that's all I want.
Right.
It's not even about money with me. I'm like, yo, bro, look, if I could make a difference in your life and to see you shine, that's my happiness. And that's
because
how I am with everybody.
Once you plant them seeds and walk away, it's going to come back to you. You know,
right.
you got to plant it, you got to water it, and then sometimes you just got to walk away and just let it come back.
Exactly. And that's what I'm about. Everybody that's amongst us is a team. We family oriented. We talk about things that you know, we could do to capitalize for everybody to eat. And like I tell them, man, like, yo, I want y'all to eat. If I could, because I'm doing everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say everything, but I'm doing enough to where I'm like, damn, you know, and I have the skill to do it. I could do management, I could be a producer, I could be an engineer, I could do anything. Because people ask me, I have people ask me, yo, why you don't do management? Because you know that business is like, I do it if I have to. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. But that's, you know, my thing is to make sure successfully everybody wins.
Yes. Yeah, man. All right. I always end off my episodes like this. If a young Jayswiftz came to you and asked you for life advice, what would you tell them?
Be yourself, be humble, be open-minded, and don't let no one stop you from achieving your dreams. And whatever your dreams are, try to achieve them. And anything that's not of you, dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? And be very productive in anything you want to do and achieve out of life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell anybody that's the best advice. And know your craft. Learn the business. Learn that. You know what I'm saying? Because without that, you're going to be, without having the mindset and the business perspective of it, you will drown. People will take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it done. I done seen some crazy things happen in this business. So that's the best advice I could give you. And like I said, believe in yourself.
Dope.
Believe in yourself.
So I appreciate you taking your time out and coming to talk today. How can people get in touch with you? What's your social medias? How can they get in touch with Jayswiftz?
Okay, I'm on the Clubhouse, Rothstein Room, Jayswiftzdproducer. Clubhouse, Instagram, Jayswiftzdproducer. If you want to contact me on personal stuff as far as like interviews, just hit me in the DMs. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to give out my Gmail because I don't want people to start flooding me up with stuff. But hit me on the DM and we could talk business, interviews or whatever. Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on your platform, bro, once again. And anything I could do, you know what I'm saying? And I would definitely do it from the bottom of my heart. It's one thing about me, it's not about revenues, it's about achieving and goals, man. That's what it's about with me.
Yeah, man. I have a feeling this isn't going to be our last time talking.
Nah, because it's a lot of stuff that I ain't even talk about yet. Yeah. It's still a lot of stuff, but I definitely, whenever you get a chance, like I said, I would send you some more music. Be on the lookout. My son is definitely active. J.R. Swift, you can follow him at J.R. Swift. That's with a Z on social media. My man DJ Static, he's on social media. I am Keith Turner, she's on social media. My man DJ Stress on social media. Funkstar on social media. Rothstein Beat, social media. Who else I missed it? Ray Luga, social media. He's probably more likely you will find him on Facebook. Andre Music, social media. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on. And I appreciate you again having me. And anything I could do to help, I'm here, man. Like if you want to interview them, let me know. I can link it up and make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the 757 Renaissance Man. You can hear and watch this video wherever you get your favorite podcast or 757renaissanceman.com. While you're there, go ahead and click the Buy Me a Coffee link. That helps out with production and bringing great people and conversations to you. Jay, man, I really appreciate you. I love that you took the time out. We got a lot more to talk about because we barely scratched the surface, man.
Nah, we definitely gonna build some more, man. I appreciate you again, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in again to the 757 Renaissance Man. That's Jay. I'm Sean, and we out. Peace.